Jason Keller at the point. Led 7 laps this evening. We've had 4 different leaders, 3 cautions for 10 laps.
But you know, he's a teammate to Scott Riggs, and Scott led the race early. And always wonder how much, you know, during the race, maybe Scott called in and told them something to do to the 57 car that actually helped him. That's a good thing about having a teammate that runs up front. He can exchange information even in the race.
Ricky Hendrick is on a mission. You're watching Hendrick from Stacy Compton's onboard camera.
Well, he fell back, obviously, when he thought he had a problem, but he got the ignition changed over and he got the thing going again. He got it fired again, and he's been coming through the field like a knife through butter.
He went from 2nd to 34th, and now he's back up to 22nd, so he's already passed, what, 11, 12 race cars.
And the thing about it is, he doesn't hesitate. When he catches them, he zings right on past them. So that car's still performing very, very well. And he'll be back up in the front, get a caution here, make a good pit stop. He'll be back up there racing for the lead.
Take a look at our double dippers. Drivers who will be racing at Michigan tomorrow on Fox. Todd Bodine is 4th. Joe Nemechek is 8th.
Todd said that, you know, even some things that they did in Michigan today on his Cup car, they made some changes when he got here tonight. Thought was going to help his Busch car, and by golly, it looks pretty good right now.
Got a battle there behind Mike Wallace in the 4 car. Mike McLaughlin in the 18.
It's a beautiful thing I think about this track again, Steve, is that you can draft a little bit. The 4 car got around the 18 car, but now the 18 has got behind him, and he's trying to put the pass back on him, make the big move on him. Get a little draft down that back straightaway, get sucked up there. Here I come, here I come, here I come. Look inside. Whoop, can't quite make it.
On board with McLaughlin.
You can see the 18 cars right down around the bottom on the white line. 4 cars out high next to the wall. They kind of end up the same place coming off, but 2 totally different places on the racetrack through the corner.
Jack Sprague, winner of last week's race at the Nashville Super Speedway, the 24. Bobby Hamilton Jr. in that 25. We've seen those guys run together for the last few weeks.
Yeah, again, you know, both guys. I mean, Bobby Jr. coming in and getting that 25 team going the way it is, he and Fred Wanke. And, got a car around down here. It's the 18 car.
Between turns 3 and 4.
He and the 4 car finally made contact.
On board with McLaughlin. Caution out for the 4th time. Lap 68.
They've been racing each other pretty hard there. I'm not sure exactly what caused that. But the 18 and the 4 were definitely working on each other.
Boy, tough break for Mike McLaughlin. As I said, came in here 8th in points. Finished 33rd at Nashville last week. So 2 tough weeks in a row for Mike McLaughlin, who has one of the best nicknames in all of racing.
Magic Shoes. Didn't help him much then. He's going straight to the garage. Going to waltz that baby right on behind the wall.
Well, what do you think, DW? The leaders pitted up about lap 33 when caution came out for the 2nd time. Will we see him again now?
Oh, yeah. Some of those guys, particularly Scott Riggs, you heard him say took 2, didn't really like it. He'll be down on pit road to get him 4 tires and maybe make a little adjustment here and get his car tightened back up for him.
Boy, Mike pulls right into the garage. Tough night.
I just hope this doesn't come down to a fuel mileage race, because I don't have Larry here with his calculator. So
I've got one. Here it is, right here. Look.
2 things I can guarantee you. He knows what the track temperature is, and he knows how often and when these guys got to pit.
Let's go on board with Mike McLaughlin. Boy, hard hit Mike McLaughlin. See him making contact with Mike Wallace in the 4 car. Caution out for the 4th time this evening. Scott Riggs is headed to the attention of his pit. Ron Hornaday just behind him, 59. Jamie McMurray's in. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
And remember, Steve, on this first stop, the 10 car of Scott Riggs only took on right side tires. They will make a 4-tire change on this stop. They're also going to make a big wedge adjustment 2 rounds down. He just said the car was loose all over, but there is one other major concern, and that's the possibility, I hate to say it, of weather. Greg Pollux, the team owner, has already sent someone down to the NASCAR Busch Series hauler. The radar does have some green. They feel like it is a little too far away, though, so they were not concerned about pitting on this stop.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Scott Riggs heads back out onto the racetrack. You're watching the Kroger 300. FoxSports.com, keyword leader for your shot at collectible gear from your favorite driver, brought to you by Lotrimin Ultra. Under caution for the 4th time this evening. Jack Sprague, winner of last weekend's race. Jeff Hammond has more on Jack Sprague.
Darrell, you'll be glad to hear this right here. Jack Sprague called in and told crew chief Dennis Connors, I'm glad the leaders didn't pit because I didn't want to come down pit road. My car's getting better. It started off a little bit loose, but as he went on, it started to tighten back up, which he likes it that way. And you know, a tighter race car is usually a faster race car. Matt Yoakum?
Well, Jeff, Wally Rogers down here in the 7th pit of Randy LaJoy. Your driver's in 9th. Is there a problem with the engine, though, Wally?
No, Randy just said we had a little bit of a vibration and didn't feel like it was pulling as good as it was yesterday in practice, so I don't know. We're going to do everything we can to get that Kleenex Chevy up front and see what we can do.
Curly in the 9th spot, guys.
All right, thanks, Matt. Darrell, I hate to mention the R word, but
yeah,
I do see some rain clouds.
I'm trying to exercise that on out of here, but I ain't had much left so far. Keeps looming over the back of us here, but hopefully things will hang in there for a while.
We're 28 laps away from an official race. You have to go past halfway.
And we sure don't want these folks here tonight. We want them to see a great race all the way to the finish. So if we keep these cars going, remember that vortex?
The vortex,
theory.
yes.
So if we can keep these cars running, we may be able to keep that spun out of here.
Jason Keller leads the field into turn 1. Green flag is out. Let's go to Jeff Hammond on Ricky Hendrick.
Darrell, you're not going to believe this. Ricky Hendrick's been making his march back up through the field to try to get back up to the front, but his father, Rick, called him and told him, hey, bud, you win this race tonight, I promise you'll get a chance to run a Winston Cup car this year. That's a big incentive for a young man, wouldn't you say?
It really is. I know they'd like to see him run some Cup races. The plan all along was with Ricky was to run him a year in the trucks, a year or two in the trucks, move him up to the Busch Series, and then hopefully and eventually into the Cup Series if he proved that that's what he wanted to do. And I think he's proven that tonight and on other occasions.
Greg Biffle just flies by Jason Keller for the lead into turn 3. On board with Biffle, looking back towards Jason Keller.
No, Biffle, he likes this racetrack, you know, and it's a good track for him. He gets out front, gets that clean air on the nose of that Ford Taurus. It'd be hard to deal with.
Boy, Biffle's been on a serious roll. I mean, you talk about Big Mo. The last 3 weeks, he was second at Charlotte. He won at Dover, finished 3rd at Nashville, and could have won that race.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure he's disappointed with some things that happened to him that have taken him out of the points chase for a while. But, you know, the season is barely not quite to halfway yet. He can fight his way back into this thing, which is one thing you can say about Greg Biffle. He is a fighter.
He is a fighter. He's aggressive, and he doesn't mind letting the rough side drag.
Now, Kevin Harvick may not think this is a fighter, but I think he is.
I would say so. Todd Bodine in the 92 by Jason Keller for second.
Boy, that Oreo cake I had there a little bit ago, the ice cream sure was good. Oreo cake, Oreo ice cream.
You know, this is the birthday of Oreo. I've never seen you eat an Oreo cookie. Are you the kind of guy that unscrews the cookie, or, you know, do you eat it?
Well, little girls have pretty curls, but I like Oreos. But double stuffs are nice. You know, you take them apart and get all this.
You do take them apart.
Yeah, I take them apart. And then I dip the cookie part in my milk. Sarah, Caitlin, and I, we like to do that. We sit and watch Scooby-Doo,
Arthur,
Winnie the Pooh, Arthur and he does SpongeBob SquarePants. Or SpongeBob with SquarePants.
With SquarePants.
Whatever his name is. Whatever. What car does he drive anyway? They don't have a car and a number. I don't know.
He won't fit. He won't fit.
Tell you, a couple of guys that just keep, you know, hanging in there. That 87 car is up to 7. And tell you another guy, the 19 car is up to 12.
Tim Sauter.
So the Sauter boys are having a pretty good night. And I'm not even going to try to tell you which one's which.
That's Tim.
I got all messed up last week doing that.
Tim underneath Brian Vickers in the 40. Vickers graduated from high school just before Charlotte. Tony Raines in the 33 just behind Sauter. Well, you're right. There's racing everywhere.
Oh, yeah. They get little groups. It's kind of like when you drive down the interstate. You get in little packs, little clusters. I haven't seen any wads. Haven't had any real big wads, but I have seen some clusters tonight.
And look who's in the middle of that mini wad.
Yeah,
Ricky Hendrick.
And he's trying to work his way by these cars. He's got a fast hot rod, I'm telling you.
Boy, Ricky Hendrick on the move. Dropped the 34th with an ignition problem.
Here he comes.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. at 25 alongside Jack Sprague. It's a battle for 5th. Nemechek in the 87 just behind him.
Knowing Wanky in that crowd the way I do and the way that car's been running, I would think Bobby Jr. would just be really, really tough here before the night's over with.
I believe Jeff Hammond has some kind of a weather forecast.
He does?
Yeah. Steve, there.
Oh, cars in the wall.
Car in the wall.
Couple of cars.
That's Jack Sprague.
Oh, man.
The points leader, Jack Sprague.
Oh,
Larry Foyt hits the wall.
He come out of the grass.
Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s involved.
Many cars.
Ashton Lewis. The 46, Ashton Lewis Jr. Lap 82, caution out for the 5th time.
I don't know what Hammond was going to say about the weather, but we just had us a little storm here off turn 4, bud.
Oh, Larry Foyt was having a great run in the 14 car.
Got down in the grass, and when the car came out of the grass, it just turned and went straight up the wall, up the track into the outside wall. That's what happened to a couple of those cars.
Wait. Let's take a look at what happened, DW.
Coming off turn 4 here, 25 car gets a run up on the outside. Ooh. Something happened to Sprague. The car just jumped straight over to the right, got into Bobby Jr. Heavy damage to both those cars, and then these other cars are just taking evasive action. They get down in the grass. Looked like somebody else got into the side of Bobby Jr. there, and then the 14 car just comes up. Here he comes up out of the grass here, and Ashton Lewis just spun around.
Yeah, once he got traction on the pavement.
I think his car's okay.
Boy, Larry Foyt, tough luck. Trouble for our points leader, Jack Sprague. Bobby Hamilton Jr. also involved.
Just got sucked into somebody else's bad luck. That 24 car was down underneath. 25 got outside. I believe he must have sucked that 24 car around just a tad. Then he got up into the side of Bobby Jr. and then we had us a little storm down there in turn 4.
Todd Bodine on pit road, followed by Joe Nemechek, Scott Wimmer, Ricky Hendrick. Hornaday in the 26, Casey Mears behind them. A lot of cars hitting pit road. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
And Steve, you can already feel some of the sprinkles hitting as a 92 car Rambo, Tony Liberati on top of the pit box. One of the only cars to pit. And he just says, oh man, here comes the rain. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment. A half a pound out of the right front, no wedge, a 4-tire change as well. As Sean Haggerty comes around to the left front. One of the veteran jackmen, one of the fastest guys on pit road, David Hatfield. A couple of pumps, he gets ready to drop it as Haggerty hits the lug, and he's down and away to Jeff Hammond.
24 car here right now has got severe damage to both sides of the race car. The guys are trying to pull everything away so he can get him back on the racetrack. As you were saying a minute ago, Matt, it's starting to rain, but the 24 car has got some severe damage. The steering wheel, Jack has reported, is off to crew chief Dennis Conner. So these guys are going to have a tough night to try to get this car to finish the race very well.
All right, under caution for the 5th time this evening for an accident, the points leader, Jack Sprague.